Hello Internet and Happy New Year! In this video we're going to be looking at our chicken and rabbit greenhouse where we keep them for the winter. We'll talk about how we keep them, how we keep it dry in there, how we keep it relatively smell free, and how we keep them healthy. It's a pretty cool system that we learned from Joel Salton. He calls it a raking house, and we pretty much copied his example. We've been doing it for about 5 years now and it's been fantastic. I couldn't recommend it more. Especially in these northern climates, it is a drippy, scuzzy day out here. And as we'll see, we'll walk in there, it'll be bright, it'll be airy, and it's just a really nice way for us to take care of them, and the animals really seem to like it too. We check on the bunnies, Molly. So this is the inside of our rabbit and chicken house. We use it probably from November to May or April. We move the rabbits out sooner. Rabbits, they struggle more with heat than with cold, so we keep them in here just for the coldest months, and then we move them out sooner. The chickens will be here until we move them out in pasture, probably end of April or early May. So the way this works right now, we have 21 chickens in here, we have 5 adult rabbits, and we're very lucky we have 3 new litters that were born yesterday and this morning, so we can give you a tour of that. And it doesn't stink. I mean, keeping 20 chickens inside and having it not stink is a bit of a miracle. So we use a lot of deep bedding. We'll use pine shavings, leaves, wood chips, straw. We've got straw going in here now. And you can see the chickens, they're just having a ball of a time, scratching through. The science behind the smell-free zone in here, the way it was explained to me is that the parasites and the microbes in the chicken poop actually compete with the parasites and the microbes in the rabbit poop. So neither one of them can build up to an unsafe level. So the chickens, as you can see, the chickens are down scratching around doing their thing, and they're mixing in the compost with the poop, and it's helping it break down. So you don't get really the strong ammonia smell that you get from having a lot of chickens, and neither do you get the strong smell from the rabbits. That all mixes together. The two poops compost each other, and then the straw or the deep bedding kind of mixes in to help everything break down. Here in New Hampshire, I think we grow granite rocks better than anything else. They don't call it the topsoil state. So we can take all this and we can move it out into the gardens or the pastures and just help build up, our pasture health come springtime as well. The basic layout of it is that we've got a screen door on this side that we leave open all except for in the nastiest weather. And at night, we shut a storm door at night. And then on that side of the greenhouse, we've got a screen cut in that we leave open all winter. Moisture is the main problem, both for chickens and rabbits. So as long as there's not a wind blowing through, we get nice airflow. It keeps everything dry in here. They don't mind the cold temperatures. It's the damp that really affects them. So even up here in New Hampshire, we leave that screen open year round, get nice airflow during the day. So this is for our chickens to lay their eggs in. So we have this little apartment building next box, and we also have a 5-gallon bucket. They go back and forth between the ones they like the best. Looks like we have a fresh egg from this morning. And then we always keep a couple of fake eggs in here. There's one, just to prevent them from pecking. So it's a ceramic egg. They whack on that and it gives them a headache. So it keeps them from getting bored and pecking the other eggs.
Hypothetically.
Hopefully. A little landing roost, and then they usually like the upper ones better. I hear the baby bunnies are speaking. So this is the roost that we built. We just cut some sticks out of the woods and a couple of oak slats that I had left over from a job at work. And all 20 of them roost mainly on this top rung. We'll have a couple stragglers that get stuck down below. They don't use these other than to hop up there. And so we gave them this whole thing, and they pack in nice and tight, and they all try and compete to get up top. One thing that we learned is that we had to put this netting up so that they didn't try and roost on the rabbit cages. And this keeps them off most of the time. They are chickens. They have all the time in the world. So if they can destroy something, they'll find a way to do it. Here's a good idea.
So this is our chicken light, and that gives them pretty much 14 hours of daylight a day. And that increases their egg laying production because in the winter, when it gets darker, they'll go to bed early and they won't have as much time to lay their eggs. So this will switch on about 4 a.m. and that'll give them an extra 4 hours of daylight.
Yeah, so really, one of these little timers, you can get them for like $12 at your hardware store. It's got timer on and outlet on it, and that'll help the chickens lay more. So consider getting those for the winter.
So for food and water, it's just real simple. We have about a 1-gallon feeder that we fill up in the morning, and they'll scratch through this, and if anything that falls on the ground, they'll pick up and eat. And then for the waters, it's just a gallon or 5-quart water. It'll freeze at night, so we always keep thawed out one in the basement so we can just bring out a fresh water and swap them real easy. They do make electric waterers that hold about 3 gallons, which are really handy in the colder months. They're a little harder for Eiley to use to do chores. This tends to be an easier option for her.
Hi, Lucky.
What you doing, Molly?
I'm feeding Lucky.
Oh, does she like the sticks?
Yes, she does.
Oh.
She's nibbling at it. And you might want to be quiet because she has her babies.
She does? When did she have them?
In her nest box. Papi, look at Lucky.
She liking that stick, Molly.
Lucky just stick into a cage.
Yeah, she like grab it from you?
No, my hand was already off it.
Okay, so our rabbit setup is very basic, very simple, very practical for us. It works well. Right now we have 3 moms and the 2 males. They're all in here. The 3 moms just had their litters, so we have 3 litters of kits as well. They'll stay with the moms till about 4 or 5 weeks old, and then we'll move them out. We have other houses outside for them. When our litters inside are about 4 or 5 weeks old, we'll move them out to these houses. We have the plans and description of these houses in another video, which we'll link below. And they love it. The babies absolutely love these houses. The way it works is the cages hang. We've just hung them on these steel studs. These are the same cages we use for our summer setup, and we just move them in and out. It saves building more of them.
For our bunnies, we use these rubber bowls, and they're nice because in the winter when they freeze, you can throw them on the ground and stomp on them to get all the ice out, but they won't break.
Rabbits only kind of chew them.
Tired bunny there. She just had her babies this morning, right?
Yep.
This morning.
So this is one of our bucks. His name is Blackberry, and I give him hay, 2 handfuls of hay, morning and night. And the good thing is anything that falls through the cage, the chickens will peck and stir in.
What are you doing, Molly?
Feeding.
You need help? Let me help you.
I can't do it.
Yes, I'm doing it. Normally, Eiley does rabbit chores, but I do know that we feed the rabbits Bunny 16 from Blue Seal, and they like it and they enjoy it. We feed them free choice, as far as I know. They do pretty well on it. We feed them free choice, right, Eiley?
Yep.
Yeah, free choice for the rabbits hasn't been bad. Our bucks are big, but they're not overweight. They still do their job. If you notice your bucks are getting too fat and not doing what bucks are supposed to do, you limit their food. You want them to be a little mean and a little more energetic rather than fat and lazy.
So here's Lucky. She really likes, our bunnies really like these. They're 6 that they really like. And Papi just gave her one and now she's nibbling her way. So now I'm going to give one to her and one to Maple, who looks like, so when I passed by her, she looked like she needed another treat, so that's what I'm going to do. And Lucky, and you see, she's nibbling it now and pulling it away. So I'll just put it, and then that means that she wants the whole thing.
Okay. Who's that for?
This is for Maple, who's right here. And I'm going to just stick it in. And hopefully she will eat it.
She's in her nest box right now, Molly. She might be feeding her babies, huh?
She could feed it. I just gave her the stick anyways.
Okay.
I thought that you were going to say, hi, May-May.
Hey, Mimi. So every couple of days or so, we take a look at the babies, see how they're doing. Every once in a while, there will be a dead one in there, like the little runt. So you just kind of pull back the fur, and you can see these guys are about 10 weeks old, or 10 days old, and their eyes are just not quite opened yet, but almost. And you just make sure they're all bundled up, especially in the cold weather. It was like 7 degrees last night, so if one got separated, then it would probably have died last night. So we, at night we make sure they're all together. And then in the morning, sometimes we check on them. You really don't need to do it every day, but every couple of days, it's nice to reach in there and say hi to them, see how they're doing. And it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 sleek, fat bunnies in there.
Yeah, and they're more friendly if you interact with them more from a younger age,
for
right?
sure. They're used to having people in there and hearing your voice and being messed with. They're not quite so jumpy.
And then I just gave him a little pat today.
And give him a little pat, give him a little breathing hole there.
Man, she put a lot of fur in.
She did a nice job. Look out, Mama.
Mimi, watch out, Mimi.
She's hiding. April's like, put back my babies. Now what's that clip for?
Sometimes the mom's jumping in and out of the box, it'll move and rattle. It'll get in front of the door and then we can't open the door. So it just keeps it in its place.
Sorry, speaking of migrate,
Mm-hmm.
what does migrate mean?
It's like when birds go south for the winter. Like when you see the wild Canadian geese flying south for the winter. They're migrating.
Like in that
Bruce the Bear book. Exactly. He goes south with his geese.
But they don't fly.
Well, Bruce the Bear had to take a bus with the geese, but
Yeah.
Canadian geese migrate by flying. They don't take buses.
Do barn owls migrate?
No, barred owls stay put. All through the winter.
What about just normal migrate? What about just normal owls?
I don't know about the other owls, but I know barred owls stay put and they have their hatchlings this time of year. Believe it or not, they're getting ready to hatch eggs in this cold weather.
You bet. Barred owls, you better make sure your mommy and daddy take care of you.
That's right. They'll do a good job. All right, are we all done in here, Ma?
Mm-hmm.
All righty.
Except for standing on your boo.